Smith machine presses. Now this is a great exercise for some reasons, and then not so great for other reasons, like every other exercise. There's no such thing as a perfect exercise, and that's why we need to have exercise selection and use multiple exercises in a given workout. So the disadvantage to doing a Smith machine press or even a barbell press is that your hands are in a fixed position, so you don't get adduction of the humerus, which is how you contract the muscle of the pec fully. But then the advantage of this exercise is that you can really load weight on the bar because you remove the degree of safety out of it. You know, when you're doing a barbell, you could drop it on yourself, but when you have a Smith machine, you actually have that safety mechanism where you can lock it so that you're never in danger, you know, and then that helps you push past that point of fear or that fear of failure when you're doing an exercise, especially when you have weight on the bar and it could potentially harm you. So that's the advantage to doing a Smith machine press, is that you can really emphasize the load in the exercise and get a lot out of it in that sense. So we would use both in a given workout, and you would get, you know, both. You would get something out of both, which is the advantage. So what I'm going to do here, you want to set up so that as you come down, right, you're making sure that you come down in the correct plane. And what I mean by that is when you have a barbell, you can do this, right? So there's more degrees of freedom. You can do this, you can do this, you can go down, you can go up. So you have all those degrees of freedom. That could be a good thing, that can be a bad thing. What keeps you in line when you're doing a barbell press or a dumbbell press is gravity. So you're always centering the dumbbells over gravity, because if I go this way, you create another moment arm to the elbow or to the shoulder, and that makes it very difficult, okay? But when you're doing a Smith machine, you can be out of alignment and it wouldn't be any more difficult because we take gravity out of the equation in the sense that it doesn't need to be balanced over you because the machine is doing the balancing for you. So there's less degrees of freedom. You also can't go side to side with the weight. So we remove the stability out of the equation, and that's where you can really focus on the load. So your setup needs to be perfect because gravity and virtual guidance isn't going to set you up for yourself in case you're out of alignment. So, and to give you a better example, if you come closer, right, I'll show you. If I'm over here, I can still bring the barbell down, right? Even though it's not directly under my arms, and vice versa. If I'm here, I could still bring the barbell down if I wanted, even though it would probably hurt my shoulders. But even marginally, this can happen. So you need to make sure that your setup is perfect and that you're setting up right under your arms. That's step number one. Okay, we don't talk about anything until our setup is perfect. Now, you want to make sure that when you're doing this exercise, you're on this side. So the hook is on this side, right? If we look at the hook of this exercise and the setup of the Smith machine, we want to make sure when we put the Smith back and we put the barbell back, we want to be able to rotate our wrist this way because it's a natural motion. Also, as we're doing the exercise, we don't want the hook sliding back onto these pins. Okay, so now that I got it, I want to make sure the spacing of my hands is correct. I don't want to be too close and I don't want to be too wide. Now, a mistake people make is they're always trying to bring the barbell down to their chest because that's a universal cue that we've been taught over the course of time. Bring the barbell down to your chest. That couldn't be further from the truth. And in fact, the lower part of our arm can literally change if it's even possible or not. If I double the size of this part of my arm, it's going to be impossible for the barbell to come down that low. So that's not the best cue to be giving people when they're doing a barbell press or even a dumbbell press. Okay, so what I should be focusing on is going down to my active range of motion. We do have a video on passive versus active range of motion, so if you haven't watched it yet, make sure you watch it. Okay, so I'm going to get my feet under me. I'm going to pin my shoulder blades back. That's very important. Pin your shoulder blades back. We don't want protraction in the exercise. We want to retract our shoulder blades. That way we're getting the most out of the pec and we're not losing pec contraction when we do this. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up. Now we're ready to go. Pin the shoulder blades back and I'm bringing the barbell down. And that feels about right, and I push it up. Now I bring the barbell down, boom, I push it up, that feels right. Now, what I'm really focused on there is I'm actually thinking about something, which is my intent. I'm thinking about bringing my arms inward. It's obviously impossible because my hands are in a fixed position, but as long as I have the intent that I'm bringing my arms inward, I'll at least be able to contract my pec a lot more and get a better contraction and a better squeeze, which is what most people call it, during this exercise. Now, I can load that bar up and I can go to the point of failure, and if I feel like I'm gonna fail, I can keep pushing and get those extra reps that I may not go with a barbell or a dumbbell. And even if I fail, I can just do this. I can't get it up, and then I can drop it down here, right? Or here, or... And that's the benefit of a Smith machine over using a dumbbell or a barbell, is the degree of safety that we don't have in those exercises. So it allows you to really push your body to that point of fatigue and really wring out that towel. You know, think about a towel that's drenched in water. We want to wring it out as much as possible so it's dry and we get the most out of something that we're doing. So that's your Smith machine barbell press.